Hey, Jen.
Hey, Dana,
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hypnosis.
and beyond.
Today we have Karen Hicks, HeartMath certified trainer and coach.
Welcome, Karen. We're so honored to have you today.
Thank you both. It was lovely to see you, Jennifer, and nice to meet you. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, well, let's dive right in. What led you to being a guest on Hypnosis and Beyond today?
Well, in Moncton, New Brunswick, a million years ago, I was born, right? And so begins the journey. I think I'm so excited to be here today. And I think what brought me here today is a series of not coincidences that brought me along this journey of self-love. And if somebody had asked me or said to me like 15 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, would you be talking about self-love and what do you think about self-love? I probably would have went, oh my God, are you kidding me? What's that? And no way. And that's hokey and that's this and that's that. And I don't believe that anymore, right? I've had so many realizations I'm an independent consultant now, have my own practice, but for 25 years, I worked in management and not-for-profit organizations working with victims of domestic violence and community mental health and addictions and young offenders and all of these areas that service people who are so disenfranchised with themselves. I didn't understand it at the time, and particularly with domestic violence women as well, because it was the women that we were serving. But over the years, gradually realizing that there is this disconnectedness from ourselves, which I was also experiencing, but didn't understand that I was experiencing that. Right. And then the universe has a way of teaching us some really important lessons and sometimes in really difficult ways. And, with a lot of hurt. And on the other side of hurt, though, where we have an opportunity to transform that into something different. And so that's been my journey. And I think that's what led me here today, that I could actually have these conversations and actually talk about HeartMath, because that was a pretty important role in understanding about love and the just how friggin' incredible the heart is. It's not just like busy pumping blood, right, around our body. There's so much more. So that's what brought me here.
Oh, do tell. We want to hear more about this heart.
Okay, so I learned in school like a million years ago that the heart was responsible for pumping blood through our body, right? And it keeps us alive, which is like, thank you, heart. Thank you so much. I love that. Like, I love being alive, right? And it's a good time. And now I understand so much more about the heart, the role of the heart, and I think through the work of Heart Math Institute. And so, did you learn in school that did you understand the heart had neurology around it, that there's a neural network of the heart? Like, I didn't learn that either. The other thing that I didn't learn with that is that there's more communication from the heart to the brain than the brain down. And our heart has a natural intuitive intelligence. And often, if we can access through the energy field of the heart, we're opening up our intuition. We're opening up so much more perception about what's going on around us. And we have emotional responses, right, that we feel, in the heart. And the heart responds to all of that data. So, and that data gets communicated to the brain, and then and then an action takes place. Like we were taught, I think, when we were young and growing up, like that this ruled. Well, this does not exist separate from the rest of the body. And then we created these little sayings like that were not kind. Oh, you wear your heart on your sleeve. And that was never a compliment. You're too emotional. You're over emotional. You're this, you're that. And those were never meant to be compliments. And so now I'm like, yes, wear your heart on your sleeve. Let people see your heart. But in order to do that, we have to develop a relationship with our heart. So and we'll talk about that. And I've got a couple, we're going to do a couple of HeartMath tools today. And so hopefully the audience will follow along when they watch this. Our heart rate and heart rate variability responds to our emotional state. And you can see this through an ECG. If you're overwhelmed, anybody relate to that? Angry, frustrated, sad, this grief, all of these things, burnout, they're all depleting states in our body. It's our emotional state, depleting states draws most of our energy. That makes us exhausted. It's not just physical work, a lot of it is emotional. But an ECG will show a heart rate and heart rate variability that's a little bit chaotic. It's up and down, it's not smooth. That's incoherence from a HeartMath perspective. Things like grace, compassion, appreciation, care, love. If you measure an ECG in that way, it's nice and smooth. The information from our heart is communicated to our brain. When we're in a state of overwhelm or anger, frustration, whatever it is, does not facilitate clear thinking. You ever try to make a decision when you're mad? Or like overwhelmed? What's that like? Like, I don't have fun with that. Don't have fun with that. But that actually inhibits prefrontal cortex functioning. Those states do. When we're in states of appreciation, care, gratitude, all of those lovely, I can just feel those things in my body. That information is communicated up to my brain and your brain, which facilitates prefrontal cortex functioning. Coherence is the state of optimal functioning. And that's the work of HeartMath, was what they research at a personal level, at a global level, and bringing also in the natural world. Like they're doing some wonderful stuff with trees. And because we're all connected. It's not just human to human. We are all connected with the field around the earth, with the natural world. So they teach, HeartMath, I think, is a system, and they have tools that teaches us to actually, in the practicing the tools, how we can change our baseline response to the world around us. I don't know about you. I would love to have control of what goes on around me. That'd be so much fun and easier, right? We would think it'd be easy, but we don't have control. We don't have control of the people that we love the most. Many of us sometimes struggle with even self-control. When we practice some of the HeartMath tools, when we practice them consistently, we can actually change our baseline response to the world to one that is more in coherence, more in a more coherent way. So we're starting off our day that way, and we're approaching and entering the day that way. If you ever find yourself in a challenging situation, maybe it's a conversation that you don't want to have. Or maybe you run into the grocery store, I'm going to be 5 minutes and there's a lineup of 20 people. Or you're driving and somebody cuts you off. All of those things that can initiate something uncomfortable or incoherent inside. That's not how we want to face the world. With the tools, we can just, with an intentional breath, we can change the situation for ourselves. Like, how exciting is that? Like for me, because I work with people now and do training and education as well, there's a lot of folks walking around with so much heaviness. And that really hurts my heart now. I want people to be well. Well-being is a key word for me, and heart well-being. We get to change that experience with well-placed and well-intentioned breath. So let's do heart focused breathing.
Let's.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. So heart focused breathing is I think the first breath technique of HeartMath, and all of the other aspects of their system build on heart-focused breathing. Sidebar for a second, they've also developed some tools, like little gadgets like this, that people can use to actually see their level of coherence and train their coherence. So they have the tools, and then they have all this breath work stuff that when you get accustomed to your own body, your body's going to speak to you as well and to help you to understand what's going on. So the purpose of heart-focused breathing, it's in other domains, it might be called a pattern interrupt. It is to interrupt something that's uncomfortable for us. So it just intersects that. And it's very, very simple. And so I would invite you to close your eyes or not, whatever you're comfortable with. I would just like you to focus your attention in the area of your heart or chest. Imagine your breath coming into your body and leaving your body through your heart or chest area. Breathe a little deeper, a little slower, just to a rhythm that's comfortable for you. And when you notice that your mind is wandering, because we do have wandering minds, just bring that back to the area of your heart or chest. Okay, that's heart-focused breathing. It's as simple as that. When we start practicing that, when I'm teaching people, I will invite them to close their eyes. But ideally, you want to do it with your eyes open, because when you're driving your car and somebody cuts you off, you don't want to be driving with your eyes closed. That would not be good. It's meant to do it on the fly. And I have tried, like in moments of discomfort or frustration, or because it takes a second just to get myself start worrying about something. And then I do heart focused breathing. I can't be in that space and in my heart at the same time. I've tried. It's like, oh, cannot. As soon as I enter the area of my heart, as I'm so present in my body and all of that other stuff, the distraction of worry, the distraction of overwhelm, because they are distractions, it just goes away. So that is a simplicity of heart focused breathing. And I invite everybody to practice that and to teach the people in your world. It's a great way to start the day if you have like little kids and everybody's running off to school or work or whatever it is, just to do some heart focused breathing together. And also I would invite people to go to the HeartMath website, because they have so much free. But now that we've interrupted that discomfort, we want to replace it with something. Because we know through habit, if we take something out, we've got to fill that hole, because that habit's coming back. It just is, right? So this is called attitude breathing. And we're just going to dive in. So what I want you to do is focus your attention in the area of your heart or chest. Imagine the breath coming in and out of your body through your heart or chest area. Breathe a little deeper and a little slower. I want you to recall a time, if it's easier, in which you felt deep appreciation or care for someone or something. Make a genuine attempt to bring that feeling back into your body now. Breathing in appreciation, care, perhaps it's love. And if you notice your mind starting to wander, just bring it back to your heart or chest. And now make a sincere attempt to carry this feeling with you for the rest of your day. And that's it. Does that feel? How was that for you?
Excellent. I had an experience actually today before we came on, and I realized my words were not helping the situation. And I sort of realized that leaving it and just, being able to regulate myself with the breath, but I love introducing the focus of the heart. It feels like just another layer, which is wonderful. Because it's also entrainment too, as you said, affecting others around us, right? Sometimes we can't verbalize it. We can't communicate with somebody to solve it in that moment, but if we can just take ourself away. So I love this. I'm going to be using this for sure.
Excellent. Dana, how was that for
Yeah.
you?
So what I really like about what you've been saying and doing these two exercises is really leaning in on your heart telling your brain things. I just feel that that component, focusing on your heart for a moment, I know that a lot of people get stuck in their head and, thoughts swirl around and whether they're whether something is happening to make those thoughts happen or not, a lot of times those thoughts just get stuck up there and they do get sent down into your body. So this is such a wonderful, easy way to interrupt that and give your heart the credit it deserves. Our poor hearts.
I know.
The
I
back.
know. Yeah, like I love that. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate your share. Yeah, once you know that your heart, there's more communication from your heart up than your head down. Like that was a game changer for me. I was like, "What? How come we're not taught this? How come we're not taught this in biology or wherever it is that we're not taught about that communication network that still is more in alternative worlds, really?" I will say, though, the science and the research that HeartMath is doing is really incredible and bringing this awareness to, I think, a broader audience and in more mainstream audience as well. And the other thing that I can't unsee now is what an ECG looks like when you're frustrated or upset or in any way like a depleting emotion versus a replenishing or regenerative emotion. I can't unsee those now. It's like, okay, so this is the agency that I have over my body. It's like when I think about from an empowerment perspective, I have agency here. I can change what's going on inside my body. So paying attention to our emotions and tracking our emotions and learning from that so we can set new patterns for ourselves is absolutely key. And I think we're all in the change work business. And I think that if we're not assisting our clients to transform their emotional experience in the world, change is going to be really hard to sustain because we have to build change on new beliefs and new experiences and new skills. Otherwise, it's not sustainable. So, to help our clients understand the role of emotions in change work and that they get to have agency. Nobody else has any control over that. It's liberating when we understand that as well. And we reclaim power, perhaps, that we've delegated to other people or situations. And by things like, well, if you just behaved yourself, I would feel so much better about me. No, or all those silly things that we would say because we just maybe didn't know that what kind of agency we had over our bodies. That's what I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, 100%. That's why I'm in this field, I guess, is because it took way too long to figure out that I actually had power, and I mean, once you start learning that, and then just again, the layering of this, I mean, when people come to you and they want hypnosis or all of those things, it's wonderful to do that, but also to include the body and to connect the body. Because, I mean, obviously, it's all about alignment. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Alignment is such an interesting word that we use in like the wellness field. I hear that a lot, alignment. And And I think about alignment similar. Alignment is like the whole body is working together. It's connected and it's working together like I don't know, like all the parts are oiled. All the cogs are spinning
That's
and it's
right.
working together versus alignment about being necessarily just about values and act according to your values. That's like an aspect, but for me it's really about how is the body working together. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dana.
I was just gonna ask with your component of self-love, since this is our Valentine's
Yeah,
Day
yeah,
episode. We don't know when our audience is watching it, but we made it in the spirit of celebrating love.
yeah.
And I think it would be really wonderful if you could speak a little bit more about how to lean into self-love more, even when it's hard to do. Because on a good day, the sun is out, you got all the green lights, right? Everything's hey, I'm doing great. But what do you do when it's stormy and you get the red light and you have all those frustrations?
My argument back is if it's dependent on the weather, then it's not self-love when it's sunny. Like it's right. It's just it is it's a step in the right direction, but there's some challenges there. Because I think self-love is really is not dependent on whether or and I know that was a bit tongue in cheek, but it's whether it's metaphorical or literal or it is an acceptance of self. And I think for me, self love is cultivated. I'm working on a self love program and helping people cultivate skills in 4 areas: um, forgiveness, compassion, boundaries, and acceptance. Because those are skills and there's practices and they help to feed each other. When we're able to, because we were talking a little bit before we came on, we can't give to others what we don't have. I think we can develop skills through our interactions with others, but really we want to cultivate that deep sense of acceptance. I think about it as seeing our own humanity. Right? And that's been a journey for me. I don't, the two of you have a critical voice in your head?
Yeah. It's a lot more toned down now, but it was screaming for a lot of years.
Right? So annoying. I would say it was pivotal for me to develop a friendly relationship with that critical voice as my journey of even self-acceptance and seeing my own humanity. And now when that voice comes up and I catch it, I honor it and say, thank you for showing me the work that I still need to do. That was really key. Yeah, that practice was really key for helping me to just honor the humanity within myself. And once I could honor my humanity, it's much easier now to see the humanity in others. So am I still judgmental? Oh hell, I have some judgmental times, but I'm far more quick now to I wonder what's happening with that person. And understand also that everybody has their own model of the world. Like no one sees the world the way that I do. So it's making room for what I don't know. So I think that practice though about thank you, voice for showing me what I still need to work on. It's a work in progress. Was so helpful in helping me to see my own humanity, to move away from the ideas of perfection and those kinds of things. And that's a work in progress. That was absolutely key. Be able to stand. Another practice too to develop those skills is to stand in front of a mirror and look at yourself. That's a really difficult thing for people to do. Because when we look at ourselves, we might see, oh, I did this wrong and I said this wrong. And oh gosh, you get wrinkles and all that nattering that actually takes away from our core essence. Like be toxically positive with yourself. Toxic positivity, like the way we use words, right? Like, why are people complaining about toxic negativity as much as they complain about toxic positivity? Like, just be positive about yourself. And I don't think it's about looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, but if you are, great. We can be positive and still recognize all of the things that we still need to work on as like a global community. But I think, Dana, to go back to continue with that like response, when we develop and those and practice those skills of forgiveness, compassion, acceptance, and boundaries, we start earning and learning about our self-worth. And then when we land in that space to say, I'm worthy because I exist, like that just brings, I just want to cry with that. Like, I'm worthy because I exist. That's it. Then we see that for other people. You're worthy because you exist. And then we become a little bit more conscious, perhaps, of our energy management. Like, self-love is going to fill our energy, it's going to fill our cup, it's going to fill our capacity for resilience. To not have that, to not be in that place, depletes that cup, takes away from our resilience capacity. So that's what I would say. So no matter if it's even on those days where I wake up and I think, oh, I don't feel so good about myself right now, then usually it's like, well, okay, what's going on? I can ask myself much more quickly as opposed to sinking in to the pit of despair. What's going on for you right now? It's like generally an action that I have to take or something there. I use those feelings as information to help me inquire more about what's going on. And really, unless you're talking yourself up with love, question everything else your brain tells you, because mostly it's lies. It's just not true. Anytime you've got a little voice saying you're not worthy, it's not true. You can just say, that's not true. That's not helpful and it's not true. Thank you for letting me know the work I still do, and that's not true.
So I'm glad you're giving us permission to talk to ourselves.
Percent.
I do that a lot.
Because we're listening. Our cells are listening to the
Yeah.
words that we use. And even when we're talking, because everything is energy, and that my work is grounded in that, and I'm sure yours is as well. Like when we say something unkind about someone else or another situation, and we're name calling, we might as well just be looking at a mirror and telling it to ourselves. Really, I mean, because that's energy. And to be more aware of that, to be more judicious, I think, with our words and our thoughts and how we then are in the world. We have an energetic field in the front of our body that extends from our heart. Current technology, as I understand it, measures the energetic field of our heart out 3 feet. Our brain, an inch. Okay, where's the power? Like, the power is here. If we spend time in understanding that before someone even sees me, recognizes me, that my heart energy is carrying forward, like that's another game changer to recognize that. So Jen, the uncomfortable conversation that you were having earlier, you could probably not even say anything and the person would know, because they're
For
like,
sure.
right? You might walk into a room and go, oh, something happened here. No one's saying anything, or maybe they've even left the room, but the energy imprint is there. Or you meet somebody and you think, oh, I don't know what it is, but it's like we're feeling our heart, that field is picking up information from their heart field. That's wild. And we can show this with science. It's amazing. So amazing.
A lot of these ideas that have been dismissed in the past, right, of as being you know, hippy dippy, whatever, insert insult for why to discredit it. And yet science is catching up to
Yes. And I'll
and
say
valid
mainstream science for sure, catching up.
mainstream. Yes.
Yeah, right to what many people have known for such a long time
Yeah.
and how we communicate. Um, HeartMath is they have a global coherence initiative, and I would encourage people to go check that out as well on their website. They get people come together and they do heart coherent techniques to change, to send out, to influence what's going on around the world. I just want to read this about, I don't want to get this wrong. So, HeartMath Institute empowers individuals, families, groups, and organizations to enhance their life experiences. They are their vision is, I love this, is a kinder, heart-centered world where we care for one another and live harmoniously in peace. Like that's a choice. Just like arguments and
Absolutely.
fighting and war, also a choice. We get to choose peace, and we can choose inner peace in amongst the turmoil. We need to be aware of where's our heart, where are we sending our heart energy? Where are we sending it? How are we using it?
What an important message. And you've given us so much. I know we just want to keep talking to you and asking more questions, but we'll have to have you back. This brings us to our next
Oh,
segment,
oh,
which is our silly subconscious question.
Okay.
And our question for you today, Miss Karen,
Yeah.
is if everyone in the world had to wear one color, what would it be and why?
What would it be and why? I'm going to say green because that's the color of the heart chakra. And so I would, yeah, I would say that wear green. Actually, wear green on Valentine's Day, folks. This is going to be afterwards, so tuck it away for next year. Wear green, right? That's the color of the heart chakra. And that just reminds you maybe to stay present in your heart if you're wearing green. That's, I'm just throwing that out there. So, yes, green.
Love it.
Excellent.
beyond what we spoke of thus far, um, perhaps maybe you could give us some like relationship advice or relating to the heart. I don't know. It's Valentine's Day or not.
Yeah. Um, I would just continue what I was saying. If we want to have strong connections with people, those connections are cultivated through the heart, I would say. And I would also say that with our loved ones, when we can see our own humanity, we're then able to see theirs. And that, I think that breeds connection as well. So see your own humanity first. And for those times where there's difficult conversations to have or something just happened that was a little bit spicy, don't respond. My oldest daughter played rep soccer for a lot of years, and the coaches had a 24-hour soccer rule. I love that rule. And when I worked conventionally, sent 24-hour soccer rule, which meant if you were mad at the coaches, you were not allowed to address it for 24 hours. That was just a way for those intense emotions to disperse, right? So you can come back and have a conversation with your prefrontal cortex versus, anger or whatever. So the 24-hour soccer rule still applies, but in that 24 hours, go figure out why you're so mad. Go figure out why you're so hurt so that you're starting to develop really great ways of self agency and self responsibility. Have your heart to heart, all those heart to heart. We need more heart to heart conversations. Just generally speaking, just do that. Do heart to heart. And because from that heart space, we will be more open. We're more able to hear what the other person has to say. We will perhaps find so much joy in heart presence with our loved one that might be full of silence. Practice silence with your loved ones. I think if it's when I working with individuals and a lot of relationship issues, I hear a lot of relationship issues, a lot of communication issues, because people are living here. They're living here where fear is so present, and they have forgotten that they are full. They've got like a physical body and a spiritual body and an energetic body. Bring those pieces together so you can approach your relationship with wholeness. And the last, for a loved one, romantic love, I will say, especially, but I think this is also true for friends. And this is not my thought. This is a relationship coach I read about a number of years ago. It's choose your partner every day. Choose your partner every day, or your husband, or your wife, or your friends. And if you can't choose the people that you're spending time with every day, you need to make some decisions and figure out why. But choose your partner every day.
Beautiful. Wonderful.
Karen, you're like the perfect guest to have on this special occasion. Thank you so much for everything.
I am
It's
so
been wonderful.
grateful for the invitation and to spend time with the two of you. I'm sure we could talk for hours.
Absolutely.
Yes. We really appreciate your time and we'll have you back soon. And with that, Jen, what do we always say?
Peace out.
Peace out.
Love out, love in. Okay.